Carnegie Hall is a historic concert venue in Midtown Manhattan. Securing a full house in this room means a performer has reached the absolute peak of musical mastery, a stage where only generational talent can hold a crowd's attention. On October 25, 1944, every single one of the venue's 2,804 seats was sold out. The technical expectations for a performance here are unforgiving. A headliner must demonstrate flawless pitch, perfect rhythm, and total vocal control. This is especially true for a soprano, a classical female singer with the highest vocal range. The headlining soprano that sold-out night was Florence Foster Jenkins. She stepped in front of the orchestra with the complete and absolute belief that she was one of the great voices of her era. This chart shows a volatile pitch monitor graph mapping her vocal performance, proving that by every technical measure available to the human ear, her belief was factually incorrect. She had no standard relationship with pitch, and she treated rhythm as a strictly personal variable. This creates a logical disconnect. How does someone with a catastrophic lack of technical skill manage to command the world's most demanding stage? Jenkins represents a glitch in the established rules of performance art. Her sold-out show forces us to question what actually draws human beings to watch another person perform. To understand how she ended up on that stage, you have to look backward at the preceding 30 years of her career. Jenkins built the architecture of her success by strictly limiting her recitals. She sang exclusively for private, invitation-only audiences. The attendees were highly curated. Through long practice and repeated attendance, these specific crowds had conditioned themselves to suppress any audible laughter while she was in the room. 3 decades inside this controlled environment completely insulated her from reality. It cemented her total absence of irony. You could see this extreme earnestness in her physical presentation. She performed in elaborate costumes of her own design, dressing as the Angel of Inspiration or a Valkyrie, a mythological Norse figure who guides the souls of the dead from the battlefield. Her act was never a comedic bit. It was a towering, uncompromising monument to absolute sincerity. That brings us back to October 25, 1944. Stepping out into Carnegie Hall was the moment her protective bubble was finally pierced. The critical variable on this specific night was the crowd. The seats were filled with public ticket holders who had not been trained to manage their reactions. The inevitable collision happened immediately. The uncurated crowd broke the silence, making a collective, irrepressible sound of laughter. The sound echoed back across the footlights, and Jenkins explicitly heard it. Rather than fleeing the stage in humiliation, she held her ground. Her unwavering sincerity held the line, and she continued to sing. In that specific moment, the sheer force of her unyielding earnestness overpowered the objective reality of her technical failure. Jenkins died exactly 1 month after stepping off the Carnegie Hall stage. Her passing was a definitive victory. Performing in that exact room was the single goal she had come to New York to achieve. Fast forward to today, and her recordings are highly accessible, surviving on nearly every major streaming platform. Compare her endurance to the thousands of technically perfect, historically accurate sopranos from the 1940s, whose names are now completely forgotten. If an artist's primary function is to leave a lasting emotional impact on an audience, Jenkins succeeded flawlessly. Which leaves us with the final question: is the sincere performance of art, even when entirely stripped of technical mastery, still a performance of art?